All right, folks, welcome back to the Ting Open Group of North America #2. I have to go set up another raffle, but congratulations to LOA Games on winning the Diablo Reaper Souls combo for Mr. Boris Macroft. He's got another one set up. It's going to be a copy of Legacy of the Void, so after we do these intros, I'm quickly going to duck away to get that set up. But you guys are watching the Ting Open. Again, all $5,000 for this tournament comes straight up from Ting, guys. Their U.S. mobile phone service, and they want you to check them out. Go to bttv.ting.com. That way they know you came from this tournament. Spawning in the bottom left side of the map, however, it's going to be the blue Terran player, CM Storm's Polt.
The top left, as the red Zerg, he is viOLet.
So before I BRB, the question I'm going to pose to you is, how do you feel about both of them being in a losers match?
I don't know. I always felt like since the qualifiers that Polt was not looking that great, so Killers are actually taking the ace match isn't too surprising. And viOLet has just never been as impressive as he was back in the MLG days. So we've already talked about him a good bit in the qualifiers about how it always feels like he's trying to be like, I can be better than Hydra, who kind of took his Zerg spot in America. And TVZ is that's an odd matchup that could have happened.
It almost feels unfair, too, because viOLet was really screwed by visas, right? Like, that wasn't his choice to go back and decide to take a break or anything. He was on the warpath, and then the government was like, nope, we don't recognize esports yet.
Yeah, exactly. Then he was the first one to get an esports visa, but, yeah, whatever. Just, he already had his heyday, and I feel like he's still trying to rise to that status again. But we do have Arena as the first map, which is a very odd first choice, but that's what it came down to. TVZ, of course, for the winners and the losers. Is nicely set up. And viOLet is going for what is a very standard attack on this map. So you can go for the Ling Overlord drop versus Terran, and it's still pretty effective. But you can also go for the Roach Ravager push that contains Polts. Just with the on that natural ramp. It's pretty annoying.
Oh, I didn't hear the grenade go off. That was weird. Anyway, so yeah, Roaches... they're talking about toning these down, of course, with like proposed balance changes and you name it. And I would definitely like to see where Ravagers end up going. Now, if this is just straight up some Roaches coming across the map, cause some havoc in the natural, that's cute. But rarely do we see no Ravagers involved with early attacks nowadays.
Yeah,
but it's going to be a couple Roaches for the time being.
I think he's going to morph him right outside of Polt space.
Yeah,
they are pretty key. There also has to be an Overlord though, which is it's slowly chugging along here to give that high ground vision for those Ravagers. Now, Polt's pretty experienced, obviously. He knows the deal on this map, and what is almost always the deal anyways on this map. And, well, this is actually an interesting choice. Yeah, he didn't go for Ravagers at all.
This is why I actually really like this choice, though, because when you go for the Ravagers, it delays it a little bit, and you'll use them to eventually break down a bunker and slowly bleed out SCVs. But just running past the bunker, the timing's a little more favorable. Knocks down a reactor, that's pretty nice, but... I mean, this will get cleaned up. The question really is how much damage can viOLet do to Polt before it gets cleaned up?
Yeah. The Ravagers, they
he
can
needs to
pick
keep
off...
SCVs full. Oh, no.
Yeah, this is actually... Well, the tank's about to pop out, so it's not going to end the game. But this is definitely doing more damage than the Ravagers would have. The Ravagers do have damage in them, though, just by poking at that bunker. They can kill two bunkers, not salvage. They can kill the SCVs trying to repair them, and any Marines are trying to pop out. But this move actually ended up going better with 9 workers killed and a reactor, too.
There's that, and you can measure the amount of damage this would have done versus Ravagers, but also scouting information gained, knowing the timing, the fact that that was a tank, and this wasn't something weird like a Liberator push or anything like that coming up behind it, so he doesn't have to put down a bunch of panic units. Now he's going to go for a Spore, and it is a map you still have to worry about Liberators on for certain, but viOLet got a lot out of that attack. That was actually really nice for him.
Well, the Spore in the main is always going to be useful. It's Arena. There's really only one drop path that's going to be useful. So whether it's for Liberator or for later on medevac drops, that's going to be useful. But the second one's definitely just Fear of Liberators. I think by far the most common opener for Terran, because of the Roach deal, is the tank opener. But it is really nice to have that confirmation for viOLet. As he's going to go into this lair, it's finished up. I can imagine it's going to be a Spire first, and then back into Roaches. With the Marines both dying and also the reactor getting cut down, this could have been that main push to the front, which the Spinecrawler is specifically trying to discourage. But without those Marines, it ends up just being a double tank drop.
Does kill a queen, so not terrible so far. Normally we see these tank drops do very little this late into it, but really not getting further is the problem as well. That Spore Crawler does move out of position, but we'll still get some shots on one of the medevacs, and of course if one of the medevacs goes down, that takes away the tank drop entirely, so that's always nice to see. But Banelings, Mutalisks, and Zerglings, kind of a bit of an oh my moment. And apparently we missed a donation. I gotta go back and check on here, Mr. ZvT. He did. I'm terribly sorry for missing that, good sir. He donates another $5, and he says, "Did you know that if Hitler was alive, he would most definitely play..." Oh gosh, he would most definitely play Protoss. Scientifically proven? No, just kidding. You know, because he was a dick and all. Nerf Protoss again. All right, big attack. This is a okay. Big attack on the other side of the map. He runs past this unfinished wall, gets us around on the bunker. So this is actually going to go down. SCV's trying to get on top of this. So surface area finally gained and has to walk away. viOLet, for a moment there, looked like he was going to do a spectacular amount of damage, but really doesn't end up getting that much for the amount of links he dedicated to this.
Yeah. Mutas are on the way, but the tanks got the third base while that all happened. Oh, well, that's definitely much better for Polt, who didn't take any damage on their side. Oh, Violet's getting Carapace instead of Flyer Attack. Oh,
and I don't know how I missed this one either. Nothing Man 32 resub for 12 months in a row.
Nice.
1 year around the sun. Make sure you actually send us a message for your part 2 while you're at it. Now the turret, oh my god, was like just not finished in time. So a couple SCVs go down.
Yeah.
I mean, if viOLet didn't lose that third, he would actually be in a pretty fantastic spot. But now he has to do damage to make up for it. Getting the gas denied is actually kind of nice, but not game-ending.
So the Carapace instead of Flyer is an interesting choice. That basically the rule has been, especially in TVZ, if you're going to go for Carapace, you're going to actually stick on Mutas in more of like a head-on engagement type of unit. And if you go for the Flyer Attack, then they're going to be what you usually see them as, which is actually like poking and prodding and not supposed to engage at any point. But the Carapace and just the committal in general to Mutas on this map, I've never liked. The Mutas to start off with is fine, but then back into Roaches, because it's such a short map, it's such good positions for tanks. I don't know, Ling Bling is really hard to pull off on here.
I would actually really love if this went to, like the Carapace upgrade was not for the Mutas, but indeed for the Corruptors that may come out later. Again, you're not going to really necessarily throw them in too early, but Liberators do deal with Mutalisks. Corruptors, however, deal with Liberators. And furthermore, if you've got a heavily armored unit like that, pissing on a building, turrets aren't going to kill it. Marines aren't going to kill it.
That's a good point. I mean, it does set you up better for the late game, which probably wouldn't happen on this map. But like, if I saw it on Dusk Towers, I think that'd be a really cool move, which is in the map pool for these guys.
He saw this with the Overlord, but I don't know if he saw it necessarily. The medevac does kind of catch him a bit off guard. There's nothing in the main. I take that back. He did position some Banelings, so this shouldn't get too much damage done. Not terribly much, at least. Other side of the map, some Banelings and Zerglings thrown away into the wall. I mean, he did tear it down, trying to hope to take advantage of it, but not enough units.
Not the best drop. Not a very good one at all, really. Polt still on 2 base, is going to be going for an attack soon enough, and his tanks will be abusing the chokes here. But viOLet actually preparing for it is going to try and pounce on him if he does move out. These Marines got to be so careful. These no. These got. They catch them morphing. Lucky ducks.
Quack, quack.
Thanks to Dugmar for the 18-month resub. Oh, cool. Oh, those are 4 Widow Mines. That would have been amazing. But 20 Banelings are on the way. Now, Polt's army supply is still much better, up about 30 here. And I still think his push is going to be very, very good, but that's a lot of Banelings.
So that is. And if you're going through a choke, you're not going to be kiting too well from said Banelings. Creep spread actually going to be very important for that factor. But I got to give credit to viOLet. Like, now it's getting a little bit scary with the Liberators. He can't really keep harassing the Mutas the same way he was. But he does do continued damage. Now, we do have 2 emotes to be on this channel. I just don't want to use the other one.
I know.
Baneling's going to roll in through that choke, but there's a good spread on the other side. Widow Mines are on board, and the Liberators are not involved with the fight whatsoever. So this goes so much better for viOLet than it should have. It's not going to be enough to completely stop Polt, and his army supply lead is still quite massive. But damn, that was the best engagement he could have hoped for.
Yeah, I can't. Wow, Polt really dropped the ball on that one, especially with Tankovac still available. Like, have those ready sieged up, boys. What was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Liberator's going to come in and try and set up that Liberation Zone, but the Spore Crawlers, the Queen's actually taking him down. Sacrifices the Mutas, maybe contemplating to do this. Does get a good Baneling hit, but it's still going to be really hard to hold this position. Tank's going to be sniping off any Banelings that want to roll in. Spikecore on the high ground's kind of cute to see, and whoa, that corpse is just flying into space. What the fuck?
Oh, for you, I don't get that one.
Okay, well, that was really weird. But the Baneling's going to roll in once again. Wouldn't mind setup this time. Does segment off some units. Still gets good hits, but the tank just holding position in that choke.
Oh.
Wouldn't mind gets popped. Mutalisk dying, but Violet Supply is just not recovering at the same rate of
No
Polts.
Banelings, no more Banelings. And even with that amazing first engagement, I do blame the map a lot for this one. I do.
Yeah. A
But
lot of
also-
people hate Arena for many different reasons.
Yeah, well, I blame, I guess more specifically, the map and Violet's tech choice. Like this, I think
Yeah,
there's a reason we see mostly roaches on this map. But...
Right, that same choke, that same engagement, but with Corrosive Biles instead of Banelings, that goes so much better for the Zerg player, no doubt. But, you know, the other part to consider as we get into the next game is that had that been a longer game, had your rocks torn down in the middle of the map and you've been running all over the place with Lings and Banelings, like that is a better composition if that was Violet's goal, but he didn't get to it. So, Polt will take a very nice game 1. Now, it is the loser's match, and again, just re-emphasizing the gravity of the situation. The loser of this will be out of the tournament completely and entirely and will be the first player eliminated from this group.
Yep. Quite a surprise if it's either one of these guys. I am feeling a little bit better for Polt. Not just with the first game. I think overall, I give it to Polt.
Yeah, he's always been pretty good at this matchup. It was always TVP that always looks different, wishy-washy, questionable, but TVZ, it's always been pretty solid for Polt. But Dust Towers, you can go when they're ready. I'm going to try and get this map intro loaded up. And nailed it. Alright, so you guys are joining us here on the cast. We still got this best of 5 and 2 more best of 5s after this, so a lot more StarCraft where this came from. Win this bracket has Kelazur and Scarlet waiting. I'll see you guys here in a sec. So people are asking about the new emotes, specifically Fear Dragons, and Kinky Mouse says this RT stand for Ravi Tears. That's actually so much better than what I had it set up for, because the RT was supposed to be for Ravi Thump instead of Bible Thump. But Ravi Tears sounds a lot better, and I like that. So I think I might just stick with that one going forward. But thank you guys for watching the TING Open. We continue here in the North American group. Game number 2.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Donations coming. I got to update that donation jar, too, because BaseTradeTV really wants to voice his opinion about Protoss today. We'll get to that in just a moment, good sir. In the bottom left, we've got the blue Zerg player, Violet.
And the top right, as the red Terran player, he's Polt.
All right, let's see if this one is going to get me in trouble for reading this one out, too. BaseTV donates another $5 and says, did you know the guy who shot Bambi's mom played Protoss? The guy who shot Bambi's mom played Protoss. Hashtag the more you know. Hashtag nerf toss. Oh, son of a gun. That hunter.
Yeah. Everyone gives a lot of crap to that one single hunter. You didn't know that you were emotionally connected to that deer's...
Right, and he had to like feed his family, you know, look for some venison.
Maybe. I mean, sometimes they just hunt for fun, but sure, maybe.
Well, you know, it was older times. I don't remember when Bambi came out, but it's probably like, what, the 60s? 50s even? 70s?
50s.
Point is, back then, people didn't have a lot of money. And maybe this was some rich guy who's hunting for sport, but more likely, it's a family fending for survival. And Bambi is the bad guy. No, I can't.
You know what it actually is?
A cartoon that had no real animals.
Animator stopped drawing the deer. So that's what happened. I've never actually seen Bambi, so...
No, I would love if
I have no emotional connection to this.
You're like, okay, for the first 600 frames, I animated the shit out of this deer. But I kind of forgot
600?
But I kind of forgot how... Well, she's only in there for like a minute, right? But it's like, I kind of forgot how to draw deers. So we're just going to get rid of the mom and draw bunnies like Thumper instead.
When does she die? I
actually don't know, but it's been too long. I was gonna say there is a follow-up animation some of you may have seen. I know it's on YouTube called Bambi vs. Godzilla, and it's like a 30-second film where Bambi's in the metal grazing, and it's all this serene, quiet music, and then Godzilla's foot just comes down, and that's the end. Just crushes Bambi. It is rather upsetting if you're a Bambi fan. I will say though, the best Bambi-related thing was SNL doing that spoof with The Rock. Did you see that?
I don't know that one. Nope.
Oh my gosh, even if you don't know Bambi, it's just The Rock dressed up as this like almost like furry tier like deer costume, and he's got a couple of guns, and they play it out like Fast and the Furious.
That just sounds creepy.
It's actually pretty amazing. Now Reaper for Polt actually, while it is dancing and being a little annoying, it hasn't scouted much, and not seeing gas time. He's not seeing whether it's a Banley nest or not. It doesn't even really get to see how many drones are on gas.
But even just having the Reaper, you know, we've seen a couple of Zergs be going for Baneling Bust because they know their opponent did go for Reaper. They went for like a CC first, which is possible on Dusk Towers, more than possible. But just the Reaper can hold off any attempt at an all-in, and it's actually viOLet going for a pretty fast lair, which the Reaper would have wanted to scout, but the Hellions might be able to. He's not going for a Hellbat push. He's actually getting a Liberator behind this and stim off of 2 bases. But the Hellions could suicide in here. Definitely after the 3rd, nothing there yet. They have to actually go past the Queens too, which might be difficult.
Burn rubber.
Burn. The Liberator will probably see it.
Okay.
As the Opalite sees the Liberator.
I know we like to make jokes, guys, but spoilers are a pretty big deal. And we did just spoil Bambi. So, as I see the result in chat, I hope you guys can take it. Mercy, not make some Reddit threads about us. I'm so sorry. Like, please accept this most formal apology for spoiling Bambi. That's my bad.
That is your bad. I didn't even see the movie, so... I didn't know if I was correct when I said she died.
Trying to take the most... I don't have a camera on, but here's how I imagine Zombie Robe, guys. Arms behind her back, kind of like half curtsy stance, like, I don't know.
Half curtsy? What the fuck is half curtsy?
Because you gotta like do like the most innocent like lean forward or whatever, right? That just kind of like...
It's when your foot's on your toe and you're just like going back and forth.
Exactly. You get your like hips and your like shoulders swinging back and forth. You're just like, I don't know. But okay, spoiler jokes aside, we do actually have an attack coming out of viOLet, but it's not going to get anything done. There's no 3rd base on location for Polts, and Polt isn't really setting up for a 3-base build right now. I mean, the 3rd command center is down, but as far as transferring it over, he's getting all that production up. He's getting ready to set up for an attack, and behind that attack is when I imagine he takes the 3rd. Regardless, though, he is set up really nicely, and with tech on the way, Stim's about to finish, 1-1's begun. He'll have this really nice timing for a push if he chooses to actually go for a push.
When viOLet decides to go for Bailey Ness, and there it is, then that's a lot more understandable for this map, where Beetling Bling does pretty well sometimes. It's up to Pulse to punish appropriately with a couple of well-timed pushes, as we were talking about with this 1-1.
So he's just going to take the command. I mean, this is still fine. I really thought he was going to just go ham, like hold down the A button, build as many Marines as possible, and get some damage in. Because, I mean, he slapped down so many barracks so early. Again, like, this isn't a bad thing. This is how Terran gets production up. But not waiting to get this base set up, just go straight ahead to production. I thought this was going to be a really big attack.
Well, it's still going to be a hard one to defend. As this mid-game points, as Combat Shields finishes up and the push commences, is always very difficult for the Zerg player without roaches. Okay, this Liberator was on the middle of nowhere.
But this is why I think the attack is a little more important. viOLet can maybe do some harassment that's cool. With a couple of turrets, you're not going to lose too much. So if all those mutas, which is a big investment in viOLet's army, are across the map, yeah, this little push out of Polt, not as big as I thought it was going to be, but this is still going to be a good push.
Someone called us a dweeb.
Okay, that guy's a
How
dork.
rude. How rude.
What a
yeah,
nerd. Go back to
dork.
the 70s with your insults.
But you're right, like the mutas, it seems like they really aren't allowed to do what viOLet's trying to do here. They're supposed to be back here making sure, well, you know, one, they don't drop, and two, they can actually pick off the medevacs, if nothing else. But Polt gets a lot of creep, is going to try and go for the 4th base. I think viOLet will be wanting to save that, but he'll be unable to.
The focus fire there was really nice. Unfortunately, mutas aren't going to get on top of this, so boosts away. There's a little area you can maybe unload here at the top. Yeah, try and make sure you minimize how much is actually connected to your units, but Polt is sadly going to lose all this. Now, to kill the base like that was actually really nice, but is it worth losing 2 medevacs? Maybe not.
It was a cancel, like viOLet was pretty on top of it. The creep spread gets respread fairly quickly by a queen, so... I don't think so.
So actually, 2 things spraying out. We have Thor, which is really interesting, because we've seen everyone almost exclusively avoid this. Secondly... I believe you just got riggedy wrecked by Scarlet in chat. How does it feel to basically be called out for being such a blatant liar? For those who don't know, Zombie Grub has this strange relationship with Scarlet where she constantly lords over the fact that Scarlet hasn't seen several Disney movies.
Lord.
And Zombie Grub's like, oh, I've seen them all. I'm the best. You must watch these. So
That has never happened.
Oh, you literally the streets of Germany. All right, I know the going-ons here, and I can't believe you've been lying to us this whole time.
That has never happened.
She's so ashamed right now. She can't even speak.
I'm disappointed she hasn't seen all the Renaissance movies that came.
Oh, you're gonna try and shift it? It's like, okay, I didn't mean Disney movies, guys, but I've seen all the like Batman movies. Like, no,
I don't judge anyone for not having seen Cinderella, Bambi, the Sleeping Beauty, Fantasia, because I don't give a crap about them either.
Wow, the harsh truths come out of Zombie Grub today, guys.
I know.
Now, there are a couple of Thors, and there's a third one on the way. This is really interesting to me, because Thors have been not bad, but the problem is cost efficiency, and with the way the game tailors out, Liberators have proven to be better at dealing with both mutas, but then having a fall up for the ground. The Thors, obviously not going to contribute too much to the ground fight. A couple of Hellbats going to come back to try and defend this, but that's a lot of banelings rolling in, and Polt has not pulled SCVs.
Well, okay, not so bad. Wait a minute.
Okay, still not so bad. This does halt his attack, and this is a really large attack that's looking to hit before Hive's done. That's looking to hit before the Ultralisk Cavern's done. So everything viOLet's doing right now, even if it's not super effective, whether it's with the mutas or the banelings, he really needs to keep Polt from pushing, because Polt's going to find viOLet with not a lot at home. Everything he's been banking up and saving and leading towards says Ultralisks, but he's not going to get them in play at this rate. Thor's going to hold this attack at the other side of the map.
He is taking engagements on creep, but I think viOLet was actually the one a little more ill-prepared for that.
Yeah.
There's not really any splash. Oh, dear. Oh,
But
my.
This is a problem for Polt now. viOLet has actually bought that time. He's halted the attack, and he is, well, I guess not able to throw down Ultralisk Cavern too freely.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Wow, big donation and a resub. 9 months coming out of SC2 Triss, who says the emotes are so adorable. I'm glad you like them. And, Ooh, this fight is actually a little bit awkward. The Thors can deal with the mutas pretty well if they stay clumped up like this. I don't know why viOLet decided to stay clumped up like that, but throws away every single Beetlesk except for one.
Yeah, okay, that wasn't too good by viOLet, but Polt has already made too many mistakes.
Has Blue Flame?
Apparently, like, I don't know, it was Polt's, I guess, who was trying to do Hellbats last time we cast him, and I was always like, why? Because they're not really the splash you would imagine. Technically, they're splash. And they do provide what a Marauder would provide, which is soaking up a lot of banelings. But I still don't like that composition that much. But experimenting is always cool. But Polt's still trying to move in. He is up by 10 army supply, even with all of those really bad baneling hits.
Oh, gosh.
viOLet just going for the attack once more. A counterattack is going to get a lot more SCVs.
He'll get on top of production, which is really important. That one Hellbat with Blue Flame gets quite a few kills in that choke, but the SCVs are stacked up and they're not going to be safe. Polt's still pushing the other side of the map, and this is like, I'm question marking base trade, because viOLet really isn't going to have an easy time defending, and Polt didn't lift his command center. He's losing a lot of production in the natural. He'll hold at the top of the ramp for God knows how long, but viOLet's got enough banelings on the other side of the map that he should be able to stop Polt's advance. Let's not forget, mass lings are going to beat Thors every single time. Thors are terrible against lings.
Yeah. But not so much against the banelings, which you're going to try. There we go, roll into the Marines.
Oh, God,
there we
the
go.
mutas.
Now the lings are going to come out, and they're going to try and get on top of these Thors, which could be picked up
The
now.
one-
So all the mutas died again.
The one Blue Flame Hellbat, though, is going to keep this from happening. He's going to keep washing them off with that Blue Flame. It's not fire, it's water, and it cleanses all.
There's the group of
Oh, no, he abandons
lings
it.
here.
No!
There we go.
A couple more units coming across the map. viOLet killing his opponent's third was actually a huge relief while this goes on. Now, Polt is tearing. He can lift off and take that third again if he'd like, but for the moment, viOLet's supply is in the gutter. But Polt's not going to have a lot more reinforcements coming behind this. Like, what Polt has is the majority of what he's going to be fighting with.
Considering how bad those baneling hits looked for Polt, I really would not have expected it to be such a scrappy game that viOLet might still just lose here. I mean, he's down to 3 bases, but only one of them is healthily mining anyways.
Picks up the Thor
Polt's down to
again.
28 SCVs, but he could lift the command center, the mules.
Yeah, Polt's definitely better off with this, especially with +3 weapons coming out soon. But the problem is still that viOLet will not handle this well at the moment. He's got production.
GG?
GG.
Wow.
What a game.
Wow.
Big donation coming in, though, from ZvT. He donates $25 and says, you guys have given us more tournament content than anybody else for the last several years. No matter what anybody thinks of you, good or bad, I love you guys, and I appreciate and respect your dedication. Please don't ever stop. That was a mouthful, but it's very appreciative of those kind words. So thank you. Thank you so much, ZvT. All right, game 3 coming up. viOLet. What is with viOLet today in these scrappy, almost what-if games?
Yes, the second one. No, he did tweet that he's making so many mistakes, so I don't think he's very happy with himself right here.
Both of them playing in the same house, too. Going to be a little bit hard to face Polt later, perhaps. Gets around dinner time. It's a bit awkward.
Embarrassed.
Just takes his dinner to his room. All right, so we do have a bit of a 2-0 lead here for Polt. He could perhaps lock it down. viOLet might be able to bring it back. Either way, Pre-Ontario is going to be the next map. Polt's ready. viOLet's ready. So we're going to get into this. And we'll draw the winner for the Legacy of the Void CD key after this series is concluded. So make sure to keep an eye on chat. Don't go too far. But we'll see you guys in a sec. All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 3 underway. Ling 420 kicks off this cast with an 8-month resub. Thank you very much, kind sir. But getting into the game, this could be it. He's on his last life. In the top left, it's viOLet.
In the bottom right, as the Red Terran, he's Polt.
So looking pretty confident in the series. This map used to be a lot of focus on Reapers, but with a gold base at the natural, even Terrans are trying to take advantage of this nice economic boost. But before I talk about that, of course, I must remember to give credit to our wonderful tournament sponsors, TING. So as of last count, we told you guys if we can get 40 people signed up and working with TING, they're going to give us another $5,000 tournament, at least to somewhere down the line. Obviously, more people means more money, which is awesome for StarCraft 2 and awesome for esports. However, what I do find most interesting is that we've already gotten very close to this goal. I think we were at like 33 signups with 19 activated accounts or something. So in an absolutely fantastic spot to at least hit the bare minimum of another tournament by the time we get to this tournament finals. So if you guys are considering swapping to TING, just know they're a US mobile phone service. Their rates are pretty cheap. They're specifically good for people who are around Wi-Fi all the time. And you can learn more about them by going to bttv.ting.com, where, and this is the most important thing, they have a savings calculator, which can help you figure out whether you will even save money or not swapping to their services. That's actually something, by the way, just not necessarily Ting related, but good business related. Like when you've got like auto shops that'll tell you like where the next best place is, or you go to a corner store that's not selling what you want, they'll tell you where the closest 7-Eleven is or something. Like I appreciate people who do that because that's just good business. That's good relationships.
Yeah, I really appreciated the savings calculator when I went to the sites myself, and I don't have the actual bill, but they actually have like a choice where like you don't have your bill, then just guesstimates, and you can actually look that up on your phone. Handy tools all around on that website.
I will say one of the really nice things about the NA group that we're casting is because this is more North American time zone, and this is not shots fired at any Europeans, but we have had a significant amount of snooty-tooty Europeans bragging about their like €5 phone bills to us. And as much as I wish that was the case, guys, unfortunately North America has pretty terrible cell phone plans. So Ting, one of their things down below is I think like their average phone bill is like between $23 and $35 or something is what they claimed, and that's 2 thumbs up from Rifkin because I'm paying like $70 and I don't use half the features on my plan, but it's the cheapest one available.
That's like $80 Canadian though. Hey, it's actually like $40.
Stop it! I hate you.
It's all good. It's all good.
Our dollar's back on the rise at least. We got that much going for us. Not much, but at least it is.
Your dollar? Don't you mean
my loonie?
Your loonie?
Because it was when we were in Toronto, so December, it was 0.69 to the US dollar. Now it's back up to 0.74. So it's actually on a nice road back to normalcy, I suppose.
Good job, Canada.
We did it.
We have a very not the fastest layer. We do have a layer again coming out for violets before upgrades, like last game. Polt going for that 3rd CC and what is a drop of Marines. Wait, what is he gonna drop?
Nothing. He doesn't have anything to drop.
Yeah, is he gonna just do a 1 tank drop?
Oh, yeah, maybe just to maneuver it around. This actually might be in defense of, or in anticipation of Roaches and Ravagers. It is a gold-based map after all. So not saying that that's what viOLet would only do, but the tank drop is going to lend itself well to it. Now he's going to go harass, but I love Corey in chat, by the way. Gotta give this a bit of a shout out. Corey17, subscriber to the channel. They say, I love watching these guys fight for the right to lose to Scarlet. She's going to wreck them all.
That's confidence.
I see this a lot more as, like, you know, fighting for your life to stay in the tournament, but, you know, like, the right to lose to Scarlet, sure. That means you assume she's going to lose to Kelazur, so I'm not sure how much you're actually cheering for Scarlet in this situation.
Come on now. Come on. She doesn't even vote for herself. Why would you vote for her?
Okay, so, yeah, I guess just on that note, reminding everybody, this is the losers match. So the winner of this will fight Kelazur. Or, sorry, the winner of this will fight the loser of Scarlet and Kelazur. Pardon me, it's Kelazur and Scarlet still have to fight their winners match out. I'm a little confused with that cheering.
The loser of this is just actually just straight out.
Yeah, they're gone.
Disappointing for them, but it has to happen. So we do have a lot of roaches on the way, and Carapace as well. Not +1 missile, though.
Who are these two? Because it's still, you know, this could go any direction. Which two players would you, I'm not saying call because of skill, but would you want to get out of the group? Like, that you would want to see in the next round?
I guess I gotta say Scarlet and Kelazur.
You know what? That's funny, because I was going to say the same thing. Like, Polt's the bigger name, obviously, and we've had nothing against Polt, guys. I want to make that clear in saying this, but just the two of them have been playing in so much more that we've been casting, so I just want to see more of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whereas, like, it's cool to see Polt once in a while, but he does only show up once in a while.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been the biggest fans of Polt and viOLet, despite training with them for a couple of years, because it's still technically going on. But yeah, I don't know. I've never really been that big of a fan of their play.
He's gonna be so disappointed when Polt narcissistically watches this VOD later. He's gonna be like, "She's no student of mine."
Excuse you. At least I stayed Terran. Anyways, not quite prepared for this push. Has that single tank, and that's it.
Other tank gets
no,
caught.
this tank.
That was actually be a really instrumental tank to have, but loses this one possibly? There's nowhere really safe to put it. Everywhere he puts it is going to be in range of roaches somewhere, some way. If that wall was up, that would have bought a lot of time, and you wouldn't have to worry about shuffling from the high ground. But viOLet gets in here pretty hard, gets a lot of kills through these SCVs, shuts off mining at the gold, and Polt, it's questionable whether he'll even clean this up nicely or not. Like, that tank is really the only thing going for him. He almost loses it. This thing's got, like, no health on it. 6 health remains. 1 roach shot kills this tank.
Repair that tank, good SCV, sir. Oh, God. This isn't enough Marines. He needs that tank with him. This would have been a much easier defense if he knew that was coming. He would have a wall up. He'd have 2 tanks right now being floating around. Now he does 1 tank unsieged, adding a lot of extra DPS.
He's losing so much mining through this, so that's 2 bases not mining, while viOLet takes a 4th.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, viOLet's looking really good with this opening attack, but he also did earlier in the series, and it still lost, so...
Right, so the power of Terran usually comes into the medevac drop counters, which can do a lot more damage. And of course, you know, Mule's being able to make up for the SCV losses. But viOLet's already kind of taken care of that. He's not going to just purely depend with Queens and, like, Ravager shots. He is transferring over into Mutiling Bling. So Polt's going to have to be very defensive. Now, going to be harassed by Mutas, potentially. And it's not that a defensive game wouldn't work out for Polt. It could. It just is not what you would really want. You'd want the instant cleanup and then, like, bang, bam, you go over to the other side of the map with a couple of Marine drops. But he doesn't even have that many Marines to drop.
Yeah. The one thing about Polt, though, you can always count on, he is very good at multitasking. So what's kind of I guess I shouldn't say alarming, but kind of interesting is he doesn't have that much multitask with. So it's not like his skill is going to get really appreciated here. Like, he's just going to have 1 drop, not 2, not 3.
Oh, so I kind of had this in the back of my mind. I wondered if he was going to go for Mutas and thought about mentioning Corruptors, but with the Baneling speed, I figured, you know, he was going to, just do Mutiling Bling. But the Corruptors, they're still going to do their job in defending against drops for sure, but they're not going to provide any harassments. That's, of course, the one downside.
No, but if Polt has no medevacs to work with, then he won't have to worry about harassment himself, which is added bonus, I guess. Zombie Grub, I gotta ask you, though.
What's up?
What would you do for a sub?
Oh, many things I can't say on stream. Just kidding. I wouldn't.
This is supposed to be a play on like what would you do for a Klondike bar, but this got really weird.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Have you not?
Thank you, Klondike bar, for that sub.
Yes, thank you, Klondike bar. But you ever see like those extreme videos of what would you do for a Klondike bar, and people are like murder someone?
Oh, what the fuck? Why would you? It's an ice cream bar. Why would you murder somebody?
It's just that damn good, alright?
This tank spread was also really damn good. Now, Caustic Spray is going to go on the command center, and if he didn't cancel it, he probably could have actually pushed it back, but realizing how quickly he lost those roaches, the tank spread out of Polt there was hugely monumental because he didn't have medevacs to shuffle them around. Corruptor's actually picking off a pretty much full medevacs, a nice catch for Violet on the back end of this, but Polt's still in a very sticky spot this game because Violet's got more than enough money and more than enough income to keep throwing away armies like that over and over again.
Yeah. And that was the best fight I think Polt would have hoped for, and he's actually at an even army supply, but counterattacking onto creep would not be much of a counter. You'd have to spend so much time cleaning it up that you still would, they'd still probably overwhelm you. So Polt's just going to sit back. I don't know if he's going to slap down maybe a fourth to turn into a planetary, or he's just going to depend on his main floating over, but this game is going to go into hive tech unless Polt pushes, like, now.
Did you really go full Sundare in chat? Like, for real?
I thought about doing it on the cast, but yep, I did.
Like, I want you to win anyways. Back in. Oni-san. These Corruptors, unfortunately, are going to get picked off, but they've done such a great job this game. Look how many medevacs are in play for Polt. Like, it's 5. It's barely any. And while they didn't exactly annihilate any buildings with Caustic Spray, they've certainly got their value out of it. And for those who don't know, a big part of like why this really became awesome in the early stages of Legacy was when you go Roaches and Ravagers, you're not dedicating as much gas as when you play Banelings and Mutilas. So you've got that extra money to really just get the Corruptors out. Almost a bit of a freebie in some situations. But looking for the surround. He's got so many units. Gets on top of the tanks with those legs. Medevacs pick up. Nothing to support them as they run for their lives, and Polt just being run down in the middle of the map. Now, Violet is still not going to take a fight here that's going to dominate and win the game. Maybe, question mark. But it's the fact that he's got the money, he's got the income, he's got the mining, and he's got the macro to just keep taking bad fights and eventually bully Polt down.
I would be so surprised if Violet through this game. But, with every single fight, Polt is just barely keeping his head above water with that army supply. But once those ultras are out, that's game.
Yeah, Violet also going for adrenal glands. He's been investing in the melee this whole time. I mean, the Banelings are cool, but they really haven't been the focal point like they sometimes get forced into, and that's when you see Terran players really take control of things. But, another full medevac gets picked off, and those Corruptors are not distracted by auto-attacking the ground.
The Naturals are actually going to be lifted. I guess actually makes sense, because that go base would have been mined out faster. But Polt is going to try and play this game out. Unfortunately, without a planetary, without a lot of Liberators, dealing with those Ultras is going to be very, very difficult. He's going to have to start depending on Super Saiyan drops, probably, as this push through the middle of the map. Tanks are great if they're up against a wall, like on the ledge. Even against Ultras, they can do a lot of damage, but he has to first get through all of this creep still, after he cleaned up a bit, too. And that's going to take a long time. Too long of a time. I don't know. He's going to get surrounded here. But if he attacks the Ultras before plating, if Violet makes a mistake with that could be a lot of dead, easy Ultras that cost a lot of minerals and gas.
I love that I'm being accused of never securing a Klondike Bar sponsorship. I think that's safe to say regardless of my opinion of Klondike Bar.
Do you like Klondike Bars? I guess we never...
I've never had one, but I don't think they're going
so
to be...
good.
Well, I don't imagine them delving into the realm of esports anytime soon. Although, I must say, I'm surprised we don't see more food sponsors involved with esports, honestly.
Right?
Not even the stereotype of, like, Doritos and nerds in the basement with Mountain Dew, but just, in general, food's a pretty big deal. And if you got casters talking about how delicious that Subway sandwich was, wink, wink, then maybe they could get involved. But that command center almost burns. He's going to repair it, but this is where the Corruptors come in with some caustic spray, and you really can't out repair the caustic spray damage. Now, you talked about maybe pushing before chitinous plating was done. Violet kind of gets baited into a really terrible engagement, but now chitinous plating's done, and he's just going to come in and make this look like the cinematic for Heart of the Swarm, but except with Liberators.
Oh god, all 4 of them at once.
Oh, the corpses are just going flying. GG. Violet will not go down without a fight, and he will take game number 3. Of course, for us, we're going to hop off to a small break. I promise you guys it will not be too long. And when we return, we'll have Game 4 ready to go of viOLet versus Polt. So stick around. We'll see you soon. All right, folks, game number 4 currently underway as I update the overlay. Just a reminder, if anyone's unfamiliar with the BaseTradeTV overlay, always down here by the minimap, you will get to see the score and the best of series displayed at all times. I'm Rifkin, of course. You guys are watching me and Zombie Grub cast some good old Ting Open group stage action. Again, thank you to Ting for sponsoring this great event. Spawning the bottom left side of Orbital Shipyard, we got the Red Terran player. One went away from locking this down. CM Storm's Polt.
The top right as the blue Zerg. He's the violets.
So I love how discussion about food managed to, us mentioning food managed to spur a discussion about food in chat, yet nobody took advantage of the new zombie group emote.
Cheeseburgers obviously too many calories, you know?
Calories.
Mmm.
I've gotten so fed up, actually. I've been doing great with my calorie limit lately, and I've even been working out a little bit more, but I've actually been gaining weight, which is pissing me off.
Hate that feel, man. I know that feel.
I did start eating protein bars again, and I'm blaming those right now.
Yeah? I have a whole set of protein bars that I might eat if I'm really hungry during a cast, but I haven't been hungry during a cast in a while.
Well, I am jelly because I'm starving right now.
Well, yeah, it went right past dinner time for you. It's a little more awkward.
Yeah, 6 p.m. over here on the West Coast. Not a problem, because actually, it's nice to be casting in the evening for once. Tomorrow morning, of course, we got the Elima League monthly finals. I have to figure out my schedule, because I don't know if I'll be able to stream that necessarily, or at least the whole thing. So we gotta do some schedule work after this. But tomorrow morning is going to be the Elima League monthly finals, so that'd be kind of cool. And on Sunday, is it worth playing that weird tournament? No, Monday. Either way, you know what? I might not know about our schedule, guys, but you know where you can find out more about our schedule, Zombie Grub?
Where's that, Rifkin?
Oh, no, I was asking you because I don't know.
Oh, I think it's BaseTrade.tv, and then there's a calendar on there.
Nice.
I think so. Okay. Totally real advertising aside.
Well, I mean, our website is actually... we've gotten a lot of nice comments about it, and I would like to pretend it's the reason our viewership's been looking better, even though I know it's more about consistency and the amount of stuff we've been casting. But, you know, maybe we just pretend it's the website, helping people connect better.
Yeah, sure. Like these new subs are all because of the new emotes. Hey.
Dude, new subs are definitely for the new emotes. These 6 new emotes are awesome. If you guys don't know, Ugubear is the one who made them all. I gave her a bit of a shout out on Twitter, and she does amazing work. And well, they're not the cheapest emotes to get made on Twitch. They look fantastic, and I love them.
Yeah. So we kind of skipped entirely talking about the initial builds here. So whoops-a-daisy, but it was a 2 racks from Polt. This is the Command Center's just finishing up now. viOLet is taking it very seriously with not only queens, but also a Roachborn, which he might have wanted to go into anyways, but the Spine Crawler feels a little unnecessary. It's not 3 racks, it's just 2.
I don't blame him, though, for over-preparing, because this is the one map that is specifically potentially getting nerfed because of the 3 racks opener.
Mm-hmm.
Not even about proxies or anything, just 3 racks back at home is too good for a lot of Zerg players to deal with.
Or just taken out of the map pool entirely. And it's really tough to think.
I mean, yeah,
it is.
I'm on that train.
Because it's on one of the oldest maps, and it's tough to think that it's back to Legacy of the Void beta. So April of last year, it's almost a year old.
Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy to consider.
Yep. It's an oldie, but an okay. It's alright.
I guess, yeah, it was like the neutral map for a while before they introduced the other ones, because they were still using like terraform and stuff at the initial parts of the beta.
Yeah, that map though, those gold bases though, fun times.
Well, back at home for Polt, his production is going to be kicking underway. 3 extra barracks coming down, which is nice. Tank on the way as well, so even if these roaches were to directly attack, they wouldn't get much done.
Mm-hmm. It's the great thing about Reapers.
Klondike Bar, by the way, says we should try meth to lose weight and cast with more energy. I thought that would be cocaine, wouldn't it be? No?
Yeah, so I figure cocaine.
Cocaine's an upper, from what TV tells me. I actually don't no fucking clue. I've never tried cocaine. I've seen some people try cocaine, but not for me.
Well, These Reapers are finally going to go down.
Rip.
There you go. Drones get the surround. And we do see viOLet's going into Speedlings as well, but we don't really know if he's going to stick on. Okay, that's the melee too. So the Roaches seem to be just for the early game. And Polt is, by the way, going for a 2-base build off the back of that 2 racks. So all his barracks are up and running, and he will have everything he needs, but sooner and like a little less so, of course, too, than viOLet might expect if he doesn't get a scout on this.
Well, for viOLet, as this game continues, there are a lot of questions, but the pressure really is on him. Now, he's going for melee upgrades. We're probably going to see him aim towards Hive. Orbital Shipyard, kind of like Dust Towers, is one of these nice macro maps. But for Polt's sake, I kind of feel like even if this was something that got out of hand, and let's say viOLet actually got away with Hive Tech, if Polt gets away with a lot too, this is a guy you don't want to leave alone for too long. So it's really hard for viOLet to pick and choose between how much to be aggressive, how much to be defensive. Because if he's just constantly fending off 1 or 2 drops at a time, then Polt's also going to get to 3 bases and Ghosts or Thors or whatever his heart desires. Oh god, that's not just one medevac drop though. This is going to be a pretty big attack now. The AI,
Yeah.
God damn it!
Wow!
That is the
Worst.
segregation is so real right now.
That is okay. Yeah, this is really important for Polt to fix.
Yeah, so he does.
That was too bad. That would have been terrible.
This is why you tear down the rocks, guys. You don't have to deal with this BS. The AI in this game can be terrible sometimes, but regardless, there's creep, but the Banelings don't have speed. It's just Banelings. So 2 tanks can actually do a lot of damage here. And most importantly, keep the Marines alive.
The fact that he has to siege them up like this is dangerous. Like so. But he does end up saving them.
He just concaves on that poor spine crawler so fast.
He tried so hard. viOLet's going to try and get to a Spire while holding on to this, which, unfortunately means he's only going to be able to get like 1 or 2 Mutas if he even gets there. Or Corruptors, he's playing like last game. Polt can't really push in as aggressively as he would want either. He's going to be very slow and steady with this, and he is off of 2 bases. This is pretty committed.
He's not focus firing with the tanks initially. Gets a couple shots off towards the end, but there's so many Marines left over. Zombie grub. Oh my god, that supply count almost completely reversed.
Oh, damn.
And even if you take Curse of Biles, their splash damage isn't that big. It's a hard-hitting ability, but its splash isn't that large of a radius, so there's no way you could even mess up this many Marines into an A move. GG gets called, and Polt, he takes the series, knocking out his housemate viOLet. Little unfortunate for viOLet, of course, because he's going to be completely gone from the tournament now. No more turnaround for him. However, Polt will survive to fight the finals of the group. Now, maybe we have the rematch, Polt versus Kelazur, or maybe we have a new match in Scarlet versus Polt. But we do have to play Kelazur versus Scarlet first in the winner series to find out who that final match is going to be. So we're going to get those vetoes sorted. We're going to go to commercial break. We've talked a lot about TING today, but one of the points we brought up, and I want to emphasize again, is let's say you are convinced at this point. Rifkin has successfully somehow sold you to check out TING and possibly even swap over to their services. Can you even do that, though? Can your phone handle it? You don't want to buy a new phone just to try out a new service for esports. That's not worth it. Luckily, there's a pretty high turnover. Like 80% of devices in the last couple of years are totally compatible with TING's services and SIM cards and whatnot. So this commercial break is going to cover that topic specifically. But, of course, not only can you perhaps buy something from their store to update your phone, you can also win a smartphone from TING. March 7th, we'll be announcing the winner. So, 10-something days from now for the second European group. That'll be when we announce the winner on stream. You guys can enter into that raffle by simply tweeting at TINGFTW, because that's their Twitter handle, hashtagging TINGOpen, and ask them any question. It can be about their cell service. It can be about what food they wish would sponsor BaseTradeTV. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been asking, is Rifkin a vampire? So maybe don't ask that one. It's not so creative. But ask them any question, and you will be entered in to win a Samsung Galaxy J7. !phone in chat if you want to learn more. But about those devices, we'll see you soon.